So, Dr. Norris, I have to know, when you're creating a film score or TV series score, what's your process? Is it different every time? What's involved?
It is. First, let's say, give it up for John.
Oh.
We got him improvising. He's a musician now. So when I'm approaching a TV or film score, it is always different. I'm a big, from the heart kind of guy. I just try to find a way to connect to the material as best I can. I always find that, when it comes to TV and film, there's no, right or wrong approach. There's really just, what is my access point to this? How can I latch onto this story? So that's the art side, but there's also the logistics side, the business side, making it happen in the real world. So a lot of it depends on, what does the director want? When do they bring me in? I've had instances like Lady in the Lake, where, if I can say, it's I was brought in, really, really late. And so you're under these, time constraints, and you have to, plug into this train that's already going 100 miles an hour. But then I recently did a new series that was just came out on Netflix called Bondi, and it was with that one, the director brought me on he brought on the composer before he had casted it. So I got to really read all the scripts. I got to live with these characters and imagine what their family dynamic was going to be like and experiment. So that was a bit more of a luxury. So it's always somewhere in between there.
Yeah. Now, I know a bit of a passion project of yours, I believe, began with this question of, what is a symphony? What is an orchestra? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I started what I'm now calling an R&B soul fusion orchestra called Southside Symphony. And the idea was, what if the orchestra didn't exist and it was invented today by a young black man? Mm. Yeah, right? Thank you. But then once I started that, then it freed me to just start dreaming. It's well, what would they play? Would they play the music of 300-year-old dead European white men? Probably not, right? They would be free to play some of the things that I grew up listening to, some of the experiences I grew up. Like a big part of it for me was always even just the concert going experience was new to me when I started playing classical. I remember playing classical piano, and I would get chastised because I would tap my foot when I played. Mm. And I'm but I'm feeling it. How do you not? And I'm it was just so bizarre to me. Or I always tell this joke at the Southside shows. I'm who here has been to an orchestra concert before? Show of hands. And then people will show the hands, and I'm okay, well, this is for you. Usually when you go to an orchestra concert, you're supposed to be very, very quiet, right? It's if you have to cough, something I've learned is if you have to cough at an orchestra concert, they would rather you die. You have to hold it until the enemy, your cough, and I grew up in the church at Southside Baptist, and at Southside, it's when somebody plays something and it moves you, you react in real time. I need to hear, if I say something cool, I want to hear y'all in that moment, you know what I mean? And that's just my relationship with it, and I'll do performances now with Southside, and sometimes we get invited to those more classical spaces, and then you'll play stuff, and then people will sit here like this, and then they'll meet me in the lobby afterward, and they'll be you changed my life. And I'm did I? Are you sure? And so I started Southside Symphony with the idea to just I just want to give myself the freedom to I tried to tap into that young 13-year-old who started making music on pirated software and stuff. It's what do you want? What if you were designing this, what would it be from bottom to top? And part of that came out of necessity, right? I'm a pragmatic person, and I got out here and I was looking around and I was all right, Marcus, let's be real. How many of these big orchestras are even playing music by people who are alive? Let's start there. And the number was very small. And then I'm okay, and of those living people, how many of those people look like you? And that number didn't really exist at that time. And I recognized that no one was gonna give me a shot to write this like soulful, groovy, but still like with masterful orchestration and technique, this type of music. So I was like, I'm gonna make this for me and my friends to be able to have a good time. And one of my mentors, I was worried that like people weren't gonna appreciate it as much as I appreciated it because it was, it's what I wanted. But one of my mentors told me, "What's from the heart reaches the heart." And so I just kind of like keep that as my North Star. It's like what's from the heart reaches the heart. As long as you go out there and you really try to connect to it and express yourself as honestly as you can in a genuine place from that love, then it'll resonate with people. Thank you.
Now tell us a little more on the venues that you play in. Is it concert halls? Is it collabs? I mean,
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Part of it with Southside is like traditionally orchestras have like, this is their home. I go see so-and-so at this venue. With Southside, I always wanted it to feel like you were just at this concert, then at some point in time, like your cousin Marcus hopped on the keys, or like, your singing cousin got up. Like I always wanted it to feel like that. And so I'm like, no, we're gonna go where the people are. So it's like we do concert halls. We're making our Performing Arts Center debut this year, this summer. But we also we play for the LA Kings, the NHL team all the time. So we play there. We play at like intimate venues, and we play like big Juneteenth outdoor festivals. Like I always wanted to be like, Southside's like, we're a member of our community, and that's a really important part of it to me. Like, I'm at the point now where like other organizations will like, who have been in existence for decades and centuries will like talk to this guy about like his approach. And I always say like, you can't just like play things at people and then be like, well, why does the community not like me? It's like, have you asked them? Have you talked to them? So I always wanted to be like in community with people. So we just go to the people, man, wherever they want us.
So I heard you once say this. I did a deep dive the other night on all your content, and I heard you once say this statement that you don't need to network, you need to make things. Can you expand on that a bit?
Yeah, and my face reaction was like whenever someone says that they've been like looking through my stuff, I'm like, oh God. Part of the thing about like speaking from the heart is like sometimes you're a little too honest. But yeah, my philosophy is I mentor a lot of younger guys coming up under me because it's like I wish I had that, so I always try to give them like what I wish I knew. And a big thing I see is, especially in music, but in other forms too, is like people want to like network. They want to shake hands, and while that isn't like nothing, I've over the years have found that not much usually comes from it. It's like my approach is like you don't need to network, you need to make things. It's like you didn't ask me here today because we networked. Like you asked me here today because I made something and it resonated with you, and that thing I made becomes your calling card. And now what I try to do is as I try to make the videos and just to like talk about what I care about, because what I found is like as you talk about what you care about, it helps like-minded people to find you. So that's my advice to all the young guys I mentor who like, oh, if I can just meet so-and-so or this and this, I'm like, just make your thing and be very loud about it, and talk about it and talk about the reasons why you made it, what's important to you, and then that'll help like-minded people find you. And for me, that's like, I've never gotten any big opportunity off of networking. It's just because what happened was I made something cool, it resonated with somebody, and then they brought it up to somebody else in a room that I wasn't in.
Do you ever get just stuck, like completely stuck? Is there a perfect solution to that? Powering through? I mean, what do you do in those moments where you just hit the wall?
Action. Like when I hit the wall, it's always because I'm overthinking it. I'm like a chronic overthinker, but I battle it all the time. I always say like, calmness comes from action. Like a lot of times when you're really nervous and all this, it's like, I don't know, it's hard to make me and Ami, who you'll meet in a little bit, we're just talking about it, like, when you care about what you're doing and you're trying to build something, whatever it is, it's like you have to make so many decisions and it can be so stressful. Should I go this? Should I do this? But what I found now is that like that thinking about it and stressing about it, it's like because you don't have all the information, but you don't get more information by doing that. The challenge is like you only get more information and more data through action. So where I'm at right now, and this is something I'm still learning. I'm talking about it like I'm an expert, but I'm still learning this. Is like it's like just action. So that's me. Is like okay, give yourself like a little bit of time, a day at max. Think about it, but then act. And what happens is like I tell myself this. This is really personal. I tell myself this. I'm like, okay, Marcus, you are smart enough. You are brave enough. You are competent enough that like if this is the wrong decision, you can still navigate that anyway. So why wait? You know what I mean? So that's my advice is if you find yourself stuck, think about it and then just make a choice and then just trust that like you're smart enough, you know what I mean? You're brave enough that you will make that choice the right one.
Yeah. So maybe you can't tell us, but are there any new projects that you have in the works that you could tell us a little bit about, or would we all have to sign NDAs right now?
Let me think. So Bondi just came out, and that like hit global #1, which is insane. It's like you write these things in your bedroom, and then next thing you know, you got people doing covers and remixes all over the world, which is crazy. Can't talk about that one. Can't talk about that one. So one that I am making so that like I can talk about it is we are doing what I'm calling an anime juke jam this summer. It was Southside. It's our Performing Arts Center debut at the Segerstrom Center. And basically I got really inspired by like this cultural exchange that happens between like anime and Japanese culture and like Black American culture. Like if any anime fans here is like, if you watch a lot of these, hey, it's like all of the soundtracks are like some of the best jazz you've ever heard, like hip hop, R&B, and I'm like, I was just like, it just hit me where I'm like, how did this happen? Like what's going on here? And so I just wanted to explore that and celebrate that cultural exchange. So we're doing a big concert with that. And I'm doing something new where it's like, as we get bigger with Southside, and like I said, I do what I want. I make it, I'm trying to make it something cool and unique. Is like I'm preparing these like mini like documentaries, and I'm like commissioning animation, and like all of a sudden I'm hiring voice actors for the first time. Like so, it's just going to be this overarching narrative, and I'm really excited about that one.
Now, I want to know, I'm curious, when you're creating your art, if it's in your head or an audience hasn't experienced it yet, it's 100% yours, I'd say. How does that feel in that moment where you're putting it out there into the world and others might interpret it their way, or is it still yours, and how does that feel?
Have you ever had anybody read your diary to a room full of people? But something I always tell myself that helps me with that is I always say output, not outcome. And so I just try to focus, and that helps me with like rejection and stuff too, because like, if you read my resume or the bio, it's like, man, this guy can't miss. But it's like no, like 99% of the things I do fail. It's just no one cares. No, you don't talk about those, But that's tough to go through. So what I always tell myself is output, not outcome. It's like I just keep controlling the part I can. I keep taking shots. That's something I love. I give myself credit for. Is like, man, you will take a shot. You will get emotionally punched in the face with an opportunity is how I describe it, and then wake up the next day and be like, well, that didn't work. Well, what are we gonna do today? And so it's the same for this. Is like, I know what I'm trying to do and what I hope people get. But all the time, and you just can't take it personal. It's like there are times when it's like, oh, I think this piece is gonna be, and it's like, it's just kind of okay. I'm at the point now where I'm not doing anything that's just like bad, but like sometimes it's just okay. And I'm like, all right, well, you try again, Yeah.
Well, we're about to experience a piece today coming up. Can you walk us through it a bit? Are there certain moments you want us listening for, what your intention is for us to experience in what we'll hear?
Yeah, so this piece is called Ebo Landing, and it's going to be performed by Ami Burton. And so I was really inspired by a story that I read. It was in around 1803, I think. There were some Igbo people in what is now called Nigeria over in Africa, about 75, and they were kidnapped and chained and were being brought here on a ship to be made slaves. And sometime on that journey, they were like bravely able to escape, and they were able to throw the enslavers off the ship. And then this ship, it landed and crashed into somewhere in Georgia. And this is the story that like really, really stuck with me. And these Igbo people, about 75 or so, is like when they found themselves in Georgia and they realized the life that waited for them here, they sang and they danced and they marched while singing and dancing directly into the marsh. And there are all of these like mythical stories about like, some say that they grew wings and flew back to Africa. Some people believe that like the water brought them here, so the water brought them home. And but I thought that was such a powerful and profound choice when we think about these people as people. We hear these stories, we read about the history books, but it's like, no, these were people with family and lives and loved ones and hobbies and dreams, and it just really stuck with me, like the dignity and almost like magic that comes from that type of heart and that type of bravery. So in this piece, you'll hear there's like a beginning section, and then there's this middle section that's like a to me that's the magic, that's the flying back, and then we return back to where we started at the end. I invite you to just close your eyes and enjoy the ride, and don't overthink it. You know, just see where the feelings take you.